Hello again. Sorry about my throat, and my voice is also not good. I'm having a little bit of cold, but we'll continue to the next chapter of uh, feeling greatness. And today is the chapter about the enemy of greatness. All of us are searching for greatness, but where do we stop ourselves from being great? That is the chapter we'll be going to read today. So, missing your meaningful mission. $7. That all he had left in his pocket when he hit rock bottom. For years, he had devoted his time, effort, and energy to one dream, pursuing greatness on the gridiron and reaching the NFL. He had the raw materials to make it happen. He worked out with A forward, and by the time he was offered an athletic scholarship in college, he was 6 feet tall and weighed 290 pounds. But talent and desire are not always enough. He played all 4 years with modest success, playing alongside future NFL Hall of Famers. But when he reached his senior season, he injured his shoulder and had a dismal year. When the NFL draft came, he didn't get picked. But his football dream was still alive. So he accepted a $250 a week contract with the Canadian Football League team. Coincidentally, this is the exact amount of money I made while playing in the Arena Football League while chasing my dream to make it to the NFL. He showed up every day with focus, passion, and determination to do his very best. But the team already had a stacked defensive bench. The coach called him one day, asking him to turn in his playbook. I respect your hard work and determination, but unfortunately, this isn't your year. I'm sorry, but we are going to have to cut it. It seemed like his football dreams had died. He bumped a ride to the airport and anxiously hopped onto the long flight back home to South Florida. When he landed in Miami, he did the only thing he knew to do. He called his parents, who lived in Tampa, for a ride and place to stay. On the long ride through the Everglades in his dad's little red pickup truck, he wondered about his next move. Here he was, a 24-year-old with dreams of being a millionaire professional athlete, and he was moving back in with his parents. As he pondered his purpose, he pulled out his wallet too. His football dream was still alive. So, how much money he had left? A $5 bill, a single, and a handful of change. What made it especially painful was that his life had not been easy. He had bounced around from place to place as a kid, living in over 13 different states. As a teen, he had lived with his mom in Hawaii while his parents were separated, and they had been evicted, living out of their car. He remembered well the nights when he watched her cry. What are we going to do now? To help his mom out, he started stealing from tourists who came to Hawaii to help pay the bills. As a result, he had landed in jail 8 times over the years. He had thought that by going to college and then pursuing his dream of greatness in the NFL, that things had finally changed. Now here he was, looking at the measly $7, hearing his mom's question echoing in his head, what am I going to do now? He spent the next couple of weeks on the couch, alternatively alternating between watching the old J. Simpson trial on television and cleaning up every scuff and scratch around the apartment with a bottle of 409 cleaner. Then, after about 2 weeks, he had a revelation. I realized there was something else for me. The world was going to hear from me. I didn't know how. I didn't know when. But I did know my life was more than just sitting around in this little apartment, cleaning up scuff marks and being depressed. He knew he had a meaningful mission. He just needed to find it. And he wouldn't find it sitting on the couch. He decided to put his size to work as a professional wrestler. So he headed to the gym and started working out like a man on a mission. His dad had been a famous wrestler, so he asked for training help and applied all of the perseverance and tenacity he had once devoted to football to his new mission of becoming great and making a significant impact in some way. And although success didn't come all at once, it paid off. He started out wrestling under the name Rocky Maivia, a play on his father's and grandfather's names, but was booed soundly by the crowd. He then became the blue chipper with much the same negative reaction, but he was learning both the athletic skills and show business expertise that eventually led to his developing a great persona. Dressed in all black, he became the villain everyone loved to hate, and the crowds loved him. For the next 7 years, he dominated the wrestling world, winning the world little title every single year. He had finally succeeded in his mission, but he wasn't done. He could not have followed wrestling during those 7 years, but you have probably heard of this determined young man because his name, The Rock Johnson, excelled at the show business side of the wrestling world. His mission evolved as he aimed something bigger, Bollywood. The essence of the enemy. When Dwayne Johnson wasn't clear on his meaningful mission in life, he struggled to make any progress. But once he confronted that enemy of greatness, he set events in motion that propelled him to greatness, and he is not done yet. Why do I call the lack of a meaningful mission the enemy of greatness? Simple. If you don't have a clear path forward, you will never move forward. Why would you? Most people would think it's safer to stay put when confronted by the unknown. Maybe whenever we are successful, maybe we are at the same zone as this person is because we also think that this is the comfort zone, and even if we are not finding our mission, we still get stuck there. And we need to ask this question all the time, always. so that we are not stuck at any moment, even if there is a considerable success. Till we find our purpose, it is no use getting stuck there. Let us read. If you are more adventurous and ambitious, you may try to move, but you feel scattered and confused while chasing after every shiny object that comes your way. You get really busy, but feel like at the end of the day, you are right back where you started, and that can feel even more frustrating. After all that effort, you got nowhere. That is when some people begin to lose hope and turn to coping mechanism to dull the pain. Oof, no one wants that. And yet, that is how it can feel every day when you have not confronted this enemy of greatness. It lurks in the background of life, shadowy and unseen, unidentified but unbelievably powerful, shaping stories in ways people never fully realize until life has passed them by. Your purpose needs to be the most important mission of your life. If you are not working in your purpose, you are just working and living to die, said Nicole Lee, the first female agent to represent a top NFL agency. When she chatted with me on my podcast, you have got to figure out what that purpose and calling is, she told me. Sri Sri Ravi Shankar, often referred to as Gurudev, is an Indian yoga guru, humanitarian spiritual leader, and an ambassador of peace. He is the founder of the Art of Living Foundation, which has helped millions of people over the last 40 years find inner peace and fulfillment in their lives. When I asked him what happens if human beings don't find a meaningful mission, he replied, for one thing, they live a routine life like boredom, where the intellect goes to sleep. Then you don't need to look for a purpose in life because you just exist. But it is when you are more mature that you start thinking, what is the purpose of life? That is a sign of mature intellect. And once we have the spirit of inquiry about life itself, then our spiritual journey begins. Truth be told, not having a clear mission fuels the fears that are core to all of us. What if we are really not good enough to achieve? What if we don't have what it takes to succeed? What if the problem is us? When you don't know you are going or why, you are naturally going to doubt yourself more. If you do have clarity, however, you can learn how to convince those fears into confidence and overcome that nagging sense of self doubt. Having a meaningful mission enables you to end the inertia and the temptation to wander aimlessly and level its success. Believe me, I know what it means like to drift. I still can't get all those late night get rich quick in commercials out of my head from when I was living on my sister's couch. And I know what it is like to achieve success. But to feel that it is not really what you want to do or it doesn't make you happy. For me, anything changed when I found the beginnings of my own meaningful mission while stuck in LA traffic back to school. On one hot summer day, I was on the 405 highway in traffic. The AC barely worked, and I felt it even more on that sweltering August day. I had moved less than 2 miles in 2 hours, so I had plenty of time to play the drums with my fingers on the steering wheel and think. The car itself was a classic that seemed stuck in time. A 997 Cadillac Eldorado two-door with a CD player. I had bought it for 4 grand from a mentor of mine. I felt like my grandpa's car, but it got me where I was going. I had just moved to Los Angeles a few months before and wasn't feeling at home yet. I had sold my previous business to my business partner for 7 figures. It hadn't all worked out beautifully, but it was done. I was free to move in a new direction, but what exactly that would be, I had no idea. So this is to take a decision when you are fully financially free, you are earning well, and still you haven't discovered your meaningful mission. That is when you need to take a direction. You need to take a decision. Let us see what Louis House did. I kept moving forward, believing something would materialize, but I was frustrated with so much of my life. I mean, here I was, young and healthy. I had made what most people would think was a good deal of money, but I felt empty. My relationship felt off too. As a result of the lack of purpose, I felt my physical health beginning to slip and my emotional health along with it. I felt like my life was breaking down. So, as I sat in the car that day with the radio going in and out in the background, I asked myself, why am I not feeling good inside? Why am I feeling unfulfilled? Why do I not feel satisfied when I have been so driven for the last several years? I had been goal oriented and gotten things done, but I don't feel fulfilled inside. Why? ऐसा क्यों है कि इतना पैसा मिल गया, इतने सक्सेस मिल गए, सारा कुछ हो गया, घर मिल गया, 7 फिगर्स का इनकम मिल गया, फिर भी सेटिस्फेक्शन नहीं मिला और अंदर से कुछ ऐसा लगा जैसे कुछ है ही नहीं। ऐसा कभी आपको होता है? तो यहाँ से लाइफ टर्न लेता है। आई न्यू आई लव्ड इंटरव्यूइंग पीपल। लुइस वॉइस को लोगों से बात करना अच्छा लगता है, आस्किंग क्वेश्चंस एंड लर्न। आपको पता है कि आप जब क्वेश्चन पूछते हो तो आप लर्न करते हो, बट आई हैड नो आइडिया हाउ टू मेक ए लिविंग डूइंग दैट। अब बहुत सारे लोगों को पता होगा, अभी अभी मैं किसी से बात कर रही थी, मैंने पूछा कि आपको डिक्शनरी में शब्द ढूंढने आते हैं, क्या आपको गूगल सर्च करना आता है? और उसने उसने कभी सुना ही नहीं कि डिक्शनरी सर्च करना क्या होता है। उसने बीएससी किया हुआ है, फार्मास्यूटिकल इंडस्ट्री में काम करता है। आप सोचो कि इस डिग्री का क्या मतलब? कुछ भी तो नहीं। I'm stuck, and I'm literally surrounded by all these other people who are stuck. They are obviously frustrated based on their honking and yelling, and not just about the traffic. Their frustration is deeper, like mine, with life in general. Then I realized there must be millions, if not billions, of people just like them and just like me. What if I could get in front of them and help myself in the process while making a living doing it? The wheels started turning, unfortunately, not on the highway, but in my mind. At the time, I had heard about podcasts, but they really weren't anywhere near as popular as they are today. You had to explain what a podcast was to most people, and when it came up in conversation, and seldom came up. The handful of people I knew who were into podcasting weren't really making money as it yet. But I began to wonder if I could do it. After all, I was already interviewing all kinds of people. But just for my own benefit and learning. What if I could do what I love, record these interviews and share them with the world to help others? Hmm. So, while still sitting in dead spot, stopped traffic, I started dialing a few friends who were into podcasting. जब आपको अपने पर्पस में कुछ भी नहीं पता चलता, देन थिंक ऑफ दैट एंगल कि आपके उस उस थोड़ा सा करने से कितने लोगों को फायदा होता है, क्या फायदा होता है, राइट? सो मैं अपने बारे में बता सकती हूँ, जैसे जैसे मैं ल्यूइस हॉवेस को पढ़ रही हूँ, आई कैन सी माई स्टोरी में। और मैं जब पढ़ रही हूँ तो शायद आपको भी अपनी स्टोरी इसमें पता चल रही होगी। तो स्टोरी में क्या है कि आप कोई भी शौक ले लो, जैसे अभी तो बहुत सारे शौक मोनेटाइज हो गए। जैसे आपको हैंड राइटिंग हैंड वो सब करना अच्छा लगता है, तो आप ड्राइंग करो। आप बहुत सारे लोगों को बहुत ही इनफॉर्मल ड्राइंग करने से अच्छा लगता है, क्या आपको पता है? तो आप सोचो, जो भी आपको अच्छा लगता है क्या उससे किसी को फायदा हो सकता है? ये बहुत ही इम्पोर्टेंट क्वेश्चन है। हालांकि आपको जल्दी से कोई रिप्लाई नहीं मिल सकता है, शायद बहुत टाइम लग जाए। जैसे मुझे अ, कुछ चीजें पढ़ के उसको सिंप्लीफाई करके अपने लाइफ का एक्सपीरियंस बता के पढ़ना अच्छा लगता है। तो इससे पैसा कैसे आता है ये बहुत दिनों तक मुझे पता नहीं था। तो अभी यूट्यूब तो चल रहा है, और मुझे बहुत दिनों तक यूट्यूब में बोलना भी नहीं आता था। इम्प्रॉम्प्टू कैसे बोलना है वो नहीं आता था। सो अभी तो मैं पढ़ ही रही हूँ, अभी यूट्यूब में काम कर रही हूँ, तो पहला स्टेप तो मैंने ले लिया ना। तो ऐसा क्या आपने कोई पहला स्टेप लिया? पहला स्टेप बहुत इम्पोर्टेंट है, क्योंकि आपके अलावा किसी दूसरे को आपका आगे का रास्ता कैसे पता चलेगा? कोई वो रास्ता देख ही नहीं रहा है ना, आप देख रहे हो। तो अगर आप देख रहे हो तो आप वो पहला स्टेप जरूर। वो कहते हैं ना कि द जर्नी ऑफ 1000 माइल्स स्टार्ट विद द फर्स्ट स्टेप। पहले कदम से आपके 1000 मील का सफर शुरू होगा। आप शुरू ही नहीं किए तो कैसे वो सफर आपका चालू होगा? सफर आप शुरू करें। Since I hadn't moved more than 10 feet, I called my friend James Wellmore to get his input too. He called the positive feedback and we started brainstorming a name for the show. Out of that place of keen awareness of my own brokenness in life, I told James I wish school had taught me the things I really needed to know. Instead, I had always felt slow and stupid and just not enough in school. But I wish there had been a school where I could have felt uncomfortable. A school that taught me how to overcome fear, failure, and insecurities, how to manage my finances, how to enjoy fulfilling relationships, how to maintain my emotional health, or even how to eat nutritiously and be physically healthy. ये सब स्कूल में नहीं सिखाया जाता। ओवरऑल सिखाया जाता है कि न्यूट्रिशस क्या होता है, ग्रीन खाना क्या होता है, हेल्दी लिविंग क्या होता है। बट क्या ये प्रैक्टिस होता है? ये प्रैक्टिस करके किसी ने कोई दिखाता है स्कूल में? भी नहीं होता। तो आपको अब अपने खुद को उसी लोग उन्हीं लोगों के साथ सराउंड कर, अदरवाइज कैसे पता चलेगा कि करना क्या है, राइट? तो ये खोज सबकी जारी है। आपको भी यही खोज है, मुझे भी यही खोज है, बहुत सारे लोगों को यही खोज चाहिए। तो कैसे पता चलेगा? तो वो पहला स्टेप ले लो। तो मैं खुश हूँ कि मैंने वो पहला स्टेप लिया है। हो सकता है कि ये मेरा फाइनल स्टेप ना हो, ये नहीं हो रास्ता जो अल्टीमेटली मुझे लेना है, बट ये रास्ता लेके और इसमें जो फेलियर्स होंगे या फिर इसमें से जो लर्निंग होंगी, इससे मुझे दूसरे किसी रास्ते का, दूसरे अल्टरनेटिव का क्लू मिलेगा। सो मैं आपसे वही पूछ रही हूँ, वही करने बोल रही हूँ। कोई तो रास्ता ले लीजिए, पहला स्टेप ले लीजिए, ताकि आप फेल अगर भी हों तो भी आपको आगे का रास्ते का क्लू मिल जाए। All those things felt like they were breaking down in my life at the time, and I just wished there was a school about these meaningful things, not just about accomplishing goals, and being successful. I just want to live a great life. I only there was a school that that taught about how to do this. A school of greatness. You go. The name of the show came to me right then and there. Just as I was stuck in traffic and in life, the idea began for starting a podcast that could quite literally help not only me to get unstuck, but also all the people around me and millions more to live a more meaningful and fulfilling life. जब मैं ये पढ़ाई पढ़ रही हूँ किताब, तो मैं वो रियलाइजेशन के साथ पढ़ रही हूँ कि मैं भी उसी जगह हूँ जहाँ लुइस ओवेस कई साल पहले 2008 या उससे पहले थे। नाउ आप लोग भी होंगे, रोज तो ऐसे लोगों से बात करते हैं कि आप अगर हैं उस जोन में, तो आप सोचें। ठीक है, आपको सोचना बहुत अच्छा ना लगता है, क्योंकि जब आप क्लूलेस होते हो, कोई डायरेक्शन नहीं होता कि कहाँ जा रहे हो, तब बहुत कुछ सोच भी नहीं आते। बट जो भी थोड़े बहुत सोच आते हैं, आप उसको जरूर सोचो। एंड इस उससे भी ज़्यादा इम्पोर्टेंट है कि आप उसको लिखो। जैसे ही लिखते हो, रेजिस्टेंस आपके 10 मिनट के लिए होता है, उसके बाद ना आपका दिमाग खुलने लगता है, आपका दिमाग कुछ बोलने लगता है आपसे। बहुत सारी चीज़ें आप लिख जाएंगे उस पर्टिकुलर मोमेंट। ऐसे ही for example, आपको ताज्जुब होगा कि आपने वो कभी सोचा है। तो पेन एंड पेपर में लिखना बहुत इम्पोर्टेंट है, क्योंकि जो दिमाग में होता है वो तो आप लिखते ही हो, बट वो थोड़ा है। उससे भी ज्यादा जो डायरेक्शन आता है आपके दिमाग से, वो जैसे जैसे ही आप लिखने लगते हो 10 मिनट के बाद वो खुद से आने लगता है। तो थोड़ा सा और पढ़ते हैं, मीनिंग एंड मिशन। Someone I have interviewed on this show many times and shared a number of powerful interactions with is Tony Robbins. And he tells me most people struggle to have big vision for the future because they focus on how it can be done instead of why they want to do it. Once you are clear on your why, the how takes care of itself. जो बड़े बड़े लोग होते हैं ना, वो कैसे होगा नहीं सोचते, वो ये सोचते हैं कि why it is required, why कर क्यों करेंगे जो भी आप करना चाहो। तो सबसे बड़ी बात ये है कि आप इसलिए करोगे क्यों, क्योंकि आपको वो अच्छा लगता है, वो करते हुए आप प्रोडक्टिव महसूस करते हो, इसीलिए आप करोगे। तो ऐसे कौन से काम हैं जो करते हुए आपको बहुत खुशी होती है, राइट? व्हाई इज वेरी हैज टू बी वेरी क्लियर। आपको बहुत अच्छा लगता है, एंड प्लस इससे आप एक दो या तीन या फिर बहुत सारे लोगों की मदद कर सकते हो। इफ ये दोनों चीजें होती हैं, तो देन यू आर इनटू द नेक्स्ट स्टेज। तो ये शुरुआत है। None of us can see how a mission can be accomplished at the start because our only perspective is what we have at that moment. इसी वक्त पे आपका मिशन कैसे सेटिस्फाई होगा आपको नहीं पता, आपको थोड़े थोड़े पता होते हैं, थोड़े बहुत ही पता होते हैं। ओनली फ्यू थिंग्स यू रियलाइज कि अच्छा ये भी हो सकता है, कैसे होगा आपको नहीं पता। That perspective is shaped by what we have experienced in the past, not by what we might experience in the future. But when we start moving forward, our perspective begins to change. Opportunities we never imagined were suddenly open to us. Connections we didn't realize possible were possible. Open doors we didn't even know existed. Resources we assumed were unavailable suddenly became acce- accessible because we learned secrets we didn't know were once hidden from us. And it all starts by having a meaningful mission. Now, there are two fundamental questions you might already be asking. What makes a mission meaningful? And then, even more basic, why are you calling it a mission? For a mission to be meaningful, it must first be personal to you. It has to resonate with you individually. It can't be mission someone else wants you to take. It can't be imposed on you against your will or something you fall into by accident. It must be an intentional embracing of a direction that is significant to you and that is key. Because it means no one else can choose a meaningful mission for you. आपका meaningful mission आपके करना. The first step to discovering your meaningful mission is to be honest with yourself about yourself. If I had been in a place of honesty with myself about my life situation when I was sitting in traffic that day, I never would have reached out for help. I never would have looked for something more. I might still be stuck in life's traffic, waiting for someone to save me from myself. Once I saw myself clearly, I began to ask the key question: what do I really want? And that leads me to why I call it a mission. A mission taps into something more significant than, say, an outing or a trip. It is not a vacation. It calls upon the deeper parts of our souls and moves us to attempt something greater than ourselves. Like a heroic guest, a mission has a singular focus or purpose, as well as a call that compels you to push through resistance to complete it. That is why we don't use the word mission to describe a visit to the grocery store, the dentist, or a theme park. A mission, by definition, is greater. It takes time. It requires determination and grit to achieve. It often remakes the people who are part of it into something better. And it always implies that the destination is grander or greater than any you have previously achieved. After all, if it were something you had done before and could easily achieve again, it wouldn't be much of a mission. As I began to get honest with myself about where I was and what I wanted out of life, my meaningful mission began to take shape. Now my mission is clear: to serve 100 million lives with you by helping them improve the quality of their lives and overcome the things that hold them back. तो आपके मिशन क्या है अभी? तो मेरा जो मिशन है वो है हेल्पिंग 8 बिलियन पीपल, मतलब जितने सारे लोग इस वर्ल्ड में हैं वो सारे लोग टू डू समथिंग मीनिंगफुल. क्या मीनिंगफुल करें? वो मीनिंगफुल करें जो कि कंट्रीब्यूट करे टुवर्ड्स बेटर ग्लोबल कामिंग, कूलिंग एंड ग्रीन. सो क्या आपने वो सारे मिशन लिख लिए अपने लिए? अपना क्या मिशन है लिख लिए. कितना भी बड़ा लगे, कितना भी इम्पॉसिबल लगे, आप लिख लो. वो मिशन आपको ड्राइव करता है. Giving my mission a concrete number allows me to quantify the actions and evaluate progress to reach that goal. And once I reach that goal, I will re-evaluate the mission in my next season of life. And that is key. My mission is not to be a podcaster, an author, a TV host, etc. At the podcast and these other platforms are the mechanisms to serve the mission. Having the clarity about your meaningful mission right now doesn't mean it will always remain the same. In fact, in order for any mission to remain meaningful to you, it must evolve over time as you grow and change. For many seasons, I loved playing baseball until I didn't. I found the LinkedIn business to be fulfilling until I didn't, and that's okay. The mechanism through which serve others right now is through the School of Greatness show, using multiple platforms to package and distribute this show and similar media efforts. But someday, the details of that mission might change as technology shifts or other opportunities arise. I don't know what the future will look like, but I know that my meaningful mission will evolve to continually help people improve the quality of their lives and overcome the things that hold them back. Katie Milkman, award-winning behavioral scientist and professor at the Wharton School of the University of Pennsylvania, describes the essence of greatness as being clear on your purpose or mission so that it serves as your North Star. She told me that when someone has that clear North Star and has built their life to support and lean toward it in all aspects, she feels like she is the presence of greatness. That is why when you get clear on your mission, you can start structuring everything else around it and live a more intentional life, no matter the mechanism you choose. In other words, the mechanism may change, but no matter how the mechanism evolves, your passion and strength will always drive you to make a significant impact in the world from your sweet spot. It is important to consider what mechanism resonates with you in the mission, in the season of life you are in? For example, you may have passion for serving people, but that doesn't necessarily mean you should be an Uber driver. Or maybe that is the thing that really energizes you, which is fantastic. If you know that, there are literally a million different mechanisms you could choose that would allow you to do a lot of good for a lot of people. The key is to be intentional about taking incremental steps towards getting clear on your meaningful mission and setting yourself up for the mechanism of service that works for you. Let us be honest about one thing. Money can cloud your perspective here. As Zig Ziglar puts it, money isn't the most important thing in life, but it is reasonably close to oxygen on the Gupta habits scale. I have had no money at times, some money at times, and then a lot more money, and all things being equal. I'd rather have it than not, but it doesn't mean there aren't challenges and pressures to overcome with having more of it. Money buys a lot of things and brings you other choices and options and freedom, but it doesn't buy fulfillment. Try to separate yourself from the money when assessing your meaningful mission. Ask yourself, if money were no longer an issue, would I do? What would light me up for every day? Be careful that the choices that drive your mission aren't fulfilled solely by wanting more money because it won't last. The bottom line is that your meaningful mission is not something you can choose once and be done. It's part of a constant assessment on your journey through life. I started with an audio only podcast. Now, thanks to my awesome team, we have one of the most popular YouTube channels with video and ever expanding social media. We are branding into different languages and exploring all sorts of other mechanisms to achieve the mission. Grasp your vision securely, but hold the mechanism loose. Don't let the how stop you from focusing on and pursuing your why. Find your sweet spot. So, how do you find your sweet spot? Is the uh, next exercise that we need to do. Let us do that. Ask the following questions uh, to yourself. What lights you up? So, the the idea of having a YouTube video with lots of view lights me up. Reaching out to a lot of people lights me up. What makes you want to jump out of that? So, doing a successful video helps me jump out of that. If money were no object, what would you love to do? Day in and day out, I would be creating contents, researching and simplifying them, and doing it more and more. What would you do all day, every day, even if you didn't get paid to do it? You do videos, of course, with lot of synthesized products and my own insights. What causes and experiences excite you? All this, as I explained. Passion alone isn't enough. You may really love doing something but lack the strength to excel it. सो अभी जो मैं कर रही हूँ उसमें मैं वीडियो तो कर लेती हूँ बट to be excellent in video making, marketing and other things, I need to learn a lot of skills. and those skills I have started learning up. Just after this video, I will be going into a course and I will be learning how to put SEO into my YouTube. Today I have done. I maximized my YouTube channel. Hope it will work. And next is the SEO optimization. So how to do this that SEO optimization will be my next. When that happens, you have probably discovered a hobby that you that could have an important place in your life, but isn't your sweet spot. For me, I love salsa dancing, and it's more than a passion. It is an expression of my life. I used to travel the world seeking out the best salsa dance clubs in New York City, Miami, Los Angeles, San Francisco, Vancouver, Mexico City, Buenos Aires, London, Paris, Bangkok, Sydney, and Wien. Every wedding I go to, I ask them to play salsa, and anytime I hear it at a restaurant, I get up and start dancing. I'm kind of weird about it, but I love it. I could do something to make money with it and make it part of my mission, but it doesn't call to me enough inside to make this my life's work. At least not this season. So I keep it a passion for now. Your unique strengths are components of your natural hardwiring that give you an advantage in some situations. No one is naturally wired to do everything well. That is why we all need each other. Your strengths give you power in those situations that call them. You can then develop the skill sets needed to make the most of that power. For example, I love asking people questions and learning from them. That is part of my natural strengths. But I have also become a student of the interview process to develop the skill set in support of my strengths. Together, these and skill sets position me to make a power driven contribution in my sweet spot. Problem. Many people spend their lives running from problems, but pursuing a meaningful mission from your sweet spot means you actively seek out a problem to solve rather than running from the challenge and letting it define you. You courageously run toward it and redefine the world as you do. In short, you can become the of hero of your own story. Donald Miller, author of Hero on a Mission, described it to me in this way. Every good story requires a problem and a hero willing to solve it. Otherwise, there is no story. You find your meaningful mission when you find a problem that needs to be solved in the world. For example, Kelly Simpson, a member of the Greatness Academy community, was a veteran real estate agent who saw a serious problem an epidemic of violent attacks on real estate agents. Very little was being done to actively equip these agents to be proactive and defend themselves. So, she formed the National Safety Council of Real Estate, set out to write a practical guide for agent safety, not today predator, and develop training and materials to keep agents safe. She saw a problem that aligned with her passions and strengths and made it part of her own meaningful mission. तो आप किसी बड़े चीज को बहुत ही स्पेशलाइज करके अपना एक मीनिंगफुल मिशन बना सकते हो गार्डनिंग किसको बताए कि आपके पास छोटा सा बालकनी है आप उसका पूरा गार्डन बना सकते हैं यू कैन आपके पास बहुत सारा मटेरियल है उसको आप कंज्यूमेबल मटेरियल बना सकते हैं विद सम पिक्टोरियल्स इन्फोग्राफिक्स ये स्पेसिफिकेशन है whatever the problem is finding a solution must be done with you when I was at an event with Gurdev a young woman asked him what can be done to end global warming his response went right to the heart of the issue you are clearly passionate about creating change so I trust you will take action to make it happen passion leads to action. If you are not passionate about it, you simply won't be able to sustain your activity. Passion होना बहुत जरूरी है. This focus on solving a problem is consistent with what fuels our sense of fulfillment and happiness. Dr. Laurie Santos, Yale professor and host of the podcast, The Happiness Lab, told me there is a mistaken notion that happiness is all about self care. But what the science suggests is that happy people are really others oriented. They are reaching out, making social connections, and worrying about how they can help other people and other people's welfare. That is what seems to lead to a happy life. In the same way, Gurudev describes three levels of intelligence. On intelligent people look for instant pleasure for themselves. Mid-level intelligent people shift to doing things out of a sense of duty and focus on following the rules. The highest level of intelligence belongs to those who desire to spread joy by serving others. Beyond themselves and not merely out of a sense of duty, highly intelligent people, as defined here, care about helping spouses, families, and their communities solve problems. The beauty of this intelligence or awareness is that it is not something anyone is born with. It can be chosen, pursued, and cultivated by everyone. Former CIA Director John Brenny once told me he defines greatness as accomplishing something that is beneficial to more than yourself and making a contribution to humankind. He added that it doesn't require a large public profile but a willingness to rise to the occasion and meet a need. To be meaningful, he said, it needs to be something that affects more than yourself. To be clear, we don't always get total clarity on our sweet spot right away. Sometimes we get more clarity as we engage in the process of putting our passions and strengths to work. You might need 5 or 10 years to really figure it out. And even then, you may need a game plan for developing needed skills. Robert Greene, the New York Times best-selling author of books such as The 48 Laws of Power, The Art of Seduction, The 33 Strategies of War, and The 50th Law, told me he didn't always know his own sweet spot. He tried being a newspaper writer and was good at it, but he always felt fiction. He tried screenwriting for television, then for movies. Those were also okay, but they still didn't feel quite like his sweet spot. After a decade of jumping from thing to thing, he decided to pursue his own unique passion for a particular topic with his growing skill sets. And he published a book few people believed would be popular, The 48 Laws of Power. At the time of his writing, the book has over 35,000 reviews on Amazon alone, and the impact on the world is still growing. It is okay if finding your sweet spot and meaningful vision takes time. That is normal. Just keep moving forward and never settle until you do. Engaging greatness. Exercise. The perfect day itinerary. So, what is your perfect day? The perfect day itinerary, PDI, may be one of the most powerful exercises you ever do for yourself. So make sure you have plenty of time dedicated to finding this exercise. I have coached many unfocused entrepreneurs through this exercise, and most of them have told me it changed their lives. I am never surprised to hear that because I believe this exercise set me up to create the beautiful life I am living today. Step 1. So the exercise starts. So if you are listening and if you are watching this video, then just listen and write down your answer. What your perfect day looks like. How do you want every day to look? I have that in my mind. So what is in your mind? How do you want to feel every single day? I want to feel relaxed, financially free, and very creative every day. Who are you with? With the people who will always motivate you by example. What places are you exposing yourself to? What passions are you fulfilling? So living in very natural spaces, And helping people to live in those green, calm, cooler spaces is my passion. Take out a blank piece of paper or open a new document on your computer and fill the first half of the page with the answers to broad terms to these questions. Below are my results from the very first time I did this exercise few years ago. My perfect day. On my perfect day, I wake up next to the woman of my dreams. I'm preparing to compete in the 2016 Olympics with USA team and God. So I head to an intense training session with my coach to increase my physical strength and athleticism. And I'm working on my TV show on a major network and supporting my company team with my projects that inspire entrepreneurs to follow their passions and make a living around what they love. Of course, not every day you live will be exactly the same. Each day will look a little different depending on what happened the day before. Thank goodness for variety, otherwise, life would be boring and monotonous. Step 2, write the itinerary. Next, write out a detailed itinerary for the next perfect day on the bottom half of your page. This itinerary should include your obligations and your desires and the timing for each. Every successful sports season, I have included detailed daily itineraries that I believe set us up to win. The schedule listed out every step we needed to take to reach our end goal. Professional sports teams do this as well to help them collectively achieve their vision. That is the point of this exercise to help you achieve your vision. Here is a version of my daily itinerary from when I wrote my first book. 7:30 a.m. wake up, meditate and enjoy the views from my balcony. 8 a.m. healthy breakfast with green juice or a smoothie. 9 a.m. CrossFit kickboxing or private skills training session. 10:45 a.m. check in with my team about projects of the day. 11 a.m. complete the top 3 tasks that were on my list before that. 12 p.m. healthy lunch at home or lunch meeting with someone who inspires me. 1:30 p.m. back to the top 3 on my to-do list, recording interviews, doing videos or working with the team. 3 p.m. physical therapy to increase flexibility 2 days a week. 5 p.m. pick up basketball, hiking with friends, swimming in the ocean. 7:30 p.m. healthy dinner at home or out with friends. 9 p.m. read, watch a movie, go to events with influencers on the town. 11 p.m. Make a list of what I am most grateful for today. Create a completed list of what I did today. Write the top 3 things I want to create tomorrow. 11:30 p.m. Meditate, sleep, dream, and recover the body. Step 3. Set a micro goal. Choose 1 or 2 things on your itinerary that you will do tomorrow. To start working toward your perfect day, you don't need to overhaul your existing routine. Instead, you need to find small, available ways that will help you improve your life and feel hopeful. Pick those 1 or 2 micro goals and put them in your calendar or set an alarm for them. Commit to doing them. Tomorrow you will be one step closer to your perfect day. If you let it, the PDI can be a powerful exercise that will set up your year and many years to come to include the best days of your business and life. It will also help validate your vision and vice versa. If your vision doesn't fit in with your perfect day at either the micro or micro level, consider changing your vision or before open or be more honest and creative about what it will take at a daily level to work towards achieving your meaningful mission. Exercise 2. Write your obituary. I recently spent some time with Donald Miller on my show. He had just written Hero on a Mission and challenged us to write our own eulogies. He believes that understanding our narratives and objectives helps us to keep growing. I agree. In this exercise, we will write our own eulogies. मर जाने के बाद जो लिखना होता है ना कि लोग क्या बोलेंगे वो लिखना है यहाँ पे. एंड क्राफ्ट आवर ग्रोथ पाथ। लोग हमारे बारे में क्या बोलेंगे वो डिपेंड करता है ना आपने क्या किया है, राइट। आपने क्या किया है वो डिपेंड करता है कि आपने क्या लिखा है आज। नहीं लिखेंगे तो फिर आपके माइंड में ही रह जाएगा एंड आपको लगेगा कि कुछ करना ही नहीं। ऐसे कई बार होता है, माइंड में रह जाता है, एक दिन दो दिन याद रहता है, और सारे काम आ जाते हैं, लाइफ टेक ओवर होता है, फिर हम भूल जाते हैं। ऐसा नहीं कीजिए, छोटा ही सही 3 चीज लिखना शुरू कीजिए, धीरे धीरे 40 50 60 100 होता है एंड यू विल बी सरप्राइज्ड कि ये 60 100 आज 3 काम नहीं हो रहे, कल आप 100 काम कर रहे हो। इट इज दैट इम्पोर्टेंट एंड दैट पावरफुल। कुछ दिनों बाद आपको लिखने की जरूरत हालांकि कुछ दिनों बाद आपको लगेगा कि नहीं पड़ती, बट अगर आप लिखते रहोगे ना, इट विल शो यू समटाइम्स आफ्टर। आप क्या करोगे, उसको वापस पढ़ोगे। अगर आपने डायरी में लिखा है तो वहां पे, अगर आपने कंप्यूटर में लिखा है तो फाइल खोल के पढ़ोगे ना, तो यू विल सरप्राइज। आप 2 महीने बाद भी पढ़ो, आप सरप्राइज हो जाएंगे। आप फेसबुक में ही देखिए ना, फेसबुक में आपने जो 2 साल पहले लिखा था अगर आज आ जाता है, जो रीशेयर करने के लिए बोलता है, आप उससे सरप्राइज नहीं होते हो। इट्स लाइक दैट, सो कीप राइटिंग, कीप राइटिंग। Craft your narrative. Get out a sheet of paper and prepare to get honest with yourself. Remember, you are the only one reading this. You can get as हाँ, ये जो आप लिखोगे ये कोई नहीं लिखेगा, किसी को दिखाने की जरूरत नहीं, किसी से शेयर करने की जरूरत नहीं, ये only he will see. So how long do you want to live? 80 साल, 100 साल? What meaningful mission did you accomplish before you died? तो आप क्या बोलोगे कि 100 साल जिए लेकिन क्या किए, वो भी लिखो। When asked, what do people say is your legacy or your most outstanding achievement? आपने क्या छोड़ा legacy? लोगों के लिए क्या छोड़ा? लोग कैसे याद करेंगे आपको? What do your loved ones say at your funeral? Funeral पे जो क्रिश्चियन funeral होता है, या फिर हमारे ही कम्युनिटी में जब कोई चला जाता है तो उसके बारे में बात करते हैं, तो उस बात में क्या बात करते हैं? कुछ अच्छा। बुराई तो कोई नहीं करेगा कि ऐसा था, अच्छा होगा चला गया, ऐसा कोई बोलता है? नहीं बोलता है। तो अच्छा जो बोलेंगे, क्या अच्छा बोलेंगे? अगर आपने कुछ अच्छा किया होगा तो बोलेंगे, राइट। तो वो अच्छा करना, प्लान करना पड़ता है, तो उसी को इटिनरी बोलते हैं। आप वो लिखिए। Lisa Anderson, age 90, was known for the way she supported and advocated for art education in local communication communities across Metro Atlanta. She met with local community leaders, churches, community development, and school to help them figure out how to fund and launch art programs for children, teens, and young adults art. ये सारे शायद इंडिया में नहीं होता है, तो आपको कोई फर्क नहीं पड़ता। आप तो अपने लिए जो भी पॉसिबल है आज के दिन में, उसी के बारे में आप सोच सकते हो। जो नहीं सोच सकते हो वो आपका विजन हो सकता है। आज नहीं होता तो 10 साल के बाद क्या नहीं होगा, होगा। तो आप ये ना सोचे कि हमारे यहाँ ये सब नहीं, आप उसके बारे में थोड़ा क्लियरली लिखिए। लिसा बिलीव दैट आर्ट, whether you were observing it or creating it, had the power to change policy, social discussions and cultures. तो हमारे मेरे साथ एक चीज है, तो बहुत ही छोट आर्ट जैसी चीज है। तो हमारे कम्युनिटी में, हमारे कल्चर में बहुत सारे आर्ट्स हैं। भजन गाना एक आर्ट है, मसाला पीसना एक आर्ट है। बहुत सारे लोग आज मसाला नहीं पीस सकते हैं, ये आपको पता है, क्योंकि ये चला, ये आदत चली गई, राइट। तो लेकिन वो आर्ट था। हाथ से पिसा हुआ मसाले का टेस्ट ही कुछ और होता है, वो जो हम आजकल नहीं महसूस करते। कहाँ पे कौन हाथ से पीस के मसाला आपको खिलाता है, बहुत ही रेयर, राइट। तो वो सब चीजें आर्ट में आता है। तो अगर ऐसा कुछ आपको है, तो ये खाने पीने की बात, जो कि मैं एक लेडी हूँ तो खाने पीने की बात करती हूँ और स्टिचिंग की बात करती हूँ। मुझे स्टिचिंग का शौक है, बहुत कपड़े इधर उधर पड़े हुए होते हैं, रीफैशन, रीमॉडलिंग, रीयूज, रीपर्पस करने का मुझे आदत है। तो अभी तक मैंने सोचा नहीं कि उससे कैसे पैसे बनते हैं। हालांकि बहुत सारे लोगों ने मुझे बोला है कि वो सारे, ये कोई मतलब दिखने में भी अच्छा नहीं है तो क्या होता है। तो आज अभी तक मैंने बहुत ही जो बहुत ही ओल्ड है कपड़े उसको यूज किया है। हो सकता है कि मैं नया कपड़ा यूज करूँ। कपड़ा यूज करना कोई बड़ी बात है नहीं, आप कई सारे लेयर बना सकते हैं जो आपको अच्छा नहीं दिखता है, फिर भी आप उसका अच्छा बना सकते हो। तो her surviving family and friends are creating the Lisa Anderson Art Coalition. The coalition will help expand the reach of art scholarships and education in communities of poverty across the United States. In lieu of flowers, the family requests donations to the coalition. तो हमारे देश में फ्लावर्स की कोई वैल्यू नहीं होती, कोई फ्लावर्स देता है तो उसको कोई डोनेशन देता है, ऐसा नहीं है। अगर आप फ्लावर नहीं खरीद रहे होते हैं, क्या कर सकते हैं जिससे आप किसी को एक यूजफुल आइटम दे सकते हैं? बैग बना सकते हैं, राइट? बैग जो वेस्टेड पेपर है उससे कुछ बना सकते हैं, दे सकते हैं, कुछ यूजफुल आइटम बन सकता है, राइट? स्टेप 3, से यस। तो ये नहीं हो सकता, वो नहीं हो सकता, वो नहीं हो सकता, काफी पॉसिबल है, बट आप अगर यस बोल सके कि हाँ ये हो सकता है, यस इट कैन बी डन, ऐसा कितनी बार आप बोलते हैं? अगर ऐसा बोलते हैं देन दैट इज द स्टेप 3। और इसके लिए एक्सरसाइज है, फाइंड योर स्वीट स्पॉट। इफ यू have spent any amount of time following me on social media, listening to my show, or watching any of my videos, you know that I think you have got what it takes to be great. तो इनका अगर शो अगर आप देखोगे तो ग्रेटनेस क्या होता है इन्होंने काफी बताया। और मैं जैसे एक यूट्यूब चैनल को पॉपुलर करने की कोशिश कर रही हूँ, अभी मैं सीख रही हूँ, मैं रास्ते में हूँ। मेरा मिशन जो है मीनिंगफुल मिशन अभी, तो मेरा जो चैनल है ना जिसमें 1000 वीडियोस हो गए हैं, वो कैसे पॉपुलर हो, लोगों के पास जाए, क्योंकि मैं किस तरह से सोचती हूँ मेरे वीडियोस में है। तो हो सकता है कि आप 1000 वीडियोस ना देखो, कुछ तो देखोगे ना, जो भी देखोगे देख लो, एंड उससे अगर आपके लाइफ में थोड़ी सी इंसाइट आए, मेरा बहुत बड़ा कोई अभी, मैं कोई महापुरुष नहीं कि आप मुझे फॉलो करें, बट हम जिंदगी में कुछ ना कुछ हर किसी से सीखते हैं, सीखते हैं, कोई भी है, सीखते हैं। आप अपने दोस्तों से कुछ सीखते हैं, फ्रेंड से कुछ सीखते हैं। तो इसी तरह से मेरे यूट्यूब को देख के आप बहुत 1 घंटा भी अगर आप देख लें, उसमें से एक ना एक चीज तो आपको सीखने को मिलेगा। मैं वही चीज 100 वीडियो में भी बोलूं तो भी वो डिफरेंट होंगे। क्यों? क्योंकि मैं रोज बदल रही हूँ। क्यों बदल रही हूँ? जो कल मैंने सीखा था आज उससे ज्यादा सीखा, कुछ ना कुछ तो एक्स्ट्रा सीखा है, कि कोई ना कोई सोच तो मेरा बदल गया है। और मैंने खुद को देखा है कि कहीं किसी नेगेटिविटी में अगर मैं आपको बड़ा प्रवचन दे रही हूँ, सिखा रही हूँ, नेगेटिविटी नहीं हो तो फिर मेरी सोच में कहीं नेगेटिविटी तो नहीं चढ़ गया है, ये मुझे देखते रहना पड़ेगा ना। सो कभी कभी आप देखोगे कि नेगेटिव मैं हो जाती हूँ, और दिस इज ह्यूमन नेचर। लेकिन अगर मैं नेगेटिव हो के उस वीडियो से निकल जाऊं तो फिर आपने क्या सीखना है उससे, राइट? उससे तो कोई सीखना नहीं हुआ। तो इसीलिए मुझे हर नेगेटिव लर्निंग का वो प्रोसेस को फॉलो करना है, एंड व्हेन आई फॉलो दैट प्रोसेस, नेगेटिविटी से पॉजिटिविटी तक जाने का जो प्रोसेस है वो मुझे फॉलो करना होता है ड्यूरिंग दैट यूट्यूब। और हो सकता है कि पूरे दिन में जो मुझे समझ ना आया वो यूट्यूब क्रिएट करते हुए, वीडियो क्रिएट करते हुए मुझे समझ आ जाए, क्योंकि मेरी रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी है आपके लिए कि आप मेरे इस एक्सपीरियंस से कुछ अच्छा लेके जाए। ये मेरी रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी है। दिस इज व्हाट माय मीनिंगफुल मिशन इज। तो मैं नेगेटिव होके तो नहीं छोड़ सकती। और आपके लिए अगर मेरी रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी है तो अपने लिए तो रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी है ना। नेगेटिव होने से किसी को कुछ अच्छा नहीं मिला है। आप अपना पोटेंशियल नहीं यूज कर सकते नेगेटिव हो, सिर्फ पॉजिटिव हो के ही आप अपना पोटेंशियल यूज कर सकते हो। तो आप वो करो, मैं वो करती हूँ जब ये वीडियोस बना रही होती। फाइंड योर पैशन, जैसे मैंने कहा कि व्हाट डिड यू एंजॉय डूइंग विथ योर फ्री टाइम। फ्री टाइम में आप क्या करते हो? जैसे मैंने कहा, अभी आज के दिन में मैं यूट्यूब बनाना पसंद करती हूँ, 4-5 यूट्यूब बनाना, और किसी ने कुछ कहा है तो उसमें कुछ नेगेटिव पॉजिटिव डालना अगर नेगेटिव है, क्योंकि कुछ कुछ पढ़ते हुए हमको लगता है ना कि दुनिया ऐसी ही है, तो उसको एक पॉजिटिव एंगल देना, लिंक्डइन में मैं वो करती हूँ। फेसबुक में अगर मुझे कुछ दिखा उसको मैं कमेंट करती हूँ। बहुत सारे लोग बोलते हैं कि आप सोशल मीडिया में बहुत टाइम स्पेंड करते हो। मैं बहुत टाइम तो स्पेंड करने के लिए मेरे पास है नहीं, लेकिन जो टाइम है उस टाइम में कुछ अच्छा करना अगर है तो फिर उसमें किसी कोई अच्छा कुछ लिखा है तो उसको पढ़ो, पढ़ो एंड उसके नीचे कमेंट करो, लोगों को अच्छा लगता है। बहुत सारा कुछ नहीं पढ़ेगा, आप थोड़ा बहुत पढ़ने से भी और उसी पे कमेंट करने से भी सामने वाले को इंस्पिरेशन मिलती है। तो अगर आप मेरी वीडियोस देख रहे हो तो आप वो करो, आप भी कमेंट करो, कहाँ पे आपको अच्छा लगा, कहाँ पे आप कनेक्ट हुए मेरे साथ, कहाँ पे आपने, आप स्टोरी बताओ कहाँ पे नेगेटिव हो गए थे और अभी बहुत पॉजिटिव हो रहे हो, वो आप बताओ। ये सारे डॉक्टर जॉन डी मार्टिनी का एक वैल्यू डिटर्मिनेशन प्रोसेस में है। तो उसमें खाली एक एक लाइन, एक एक वर्ड, एक एक फ्रेज लिखने के लिए है। और जैसे ही आप खत्म करोगे, पहली बारी जब आप कर रहे हैं तो आपको लगेगा कि इसमें से क्या वैल्यू निकालोगे आप, लेकिन आपको सरप्राइजिंग लगेगा। वो पूछते हैं कि आप जहाँ पे बैठते हो उस एरिया में क्या क्या है। तो मेरे एरिया में क्या था जानते हैं? बुक्स थे, डायरी था, पेन था, लैपटॉप था, और मेरा जो स्टिचिंग जो किट है ना वो था, और मेरे मेकअप सामान थे, और जो कान में जो पहनती हूँ उसका मुझे शौक है वो। नाउ 3 चीजें ही लिखनी थी, ये 6 चीजें हैं, तो उसका क्या किया मैंने? आई कुड सी कि 3 के अलावा भी कुछ चीजें हैं मेरी प्रायोरिटीज में। इट मीन्स दैट आपके साथ जो प्रायोरिटी ना हो, जिसको आपने बहुत सारे दिनों में नहीं देखा है, उसको आप अपने टेबल पे थोड़ी ही रखोगे। आप यूज करते रहते हो तभी जाके वो आपके टेबल में है, राइट? तो मैंने किया कि क्या ये मेरी प्रायोरिटी में है? तो मैंने सबसे पहले तो ये किया कि उठाया उसको, फार एंड मेरे कमरे के दूसरे एंड में रख दिया, क्योंकि वो मेरे इमीडिएट सिटिंग स्पेस पे नहीं रहना चाहिए, ऐसा मैंने सोचा पहले में। बट वो तो रोज ही करना मुझे है, तो फिर वो वापस आ गए वहाँ पे। तो अभी क्या करना है? रिकॉग्नाइज करना है कि वो मेरे प्रायोरिटीज में है, और being proud of myself, to be accepting myself as I am, ये प्रोसेस उसका पार्ट है। मुझे किसी और को दिखाना तो है नहीं कि मैं क्या हूँ और मुझे क्या अच्छा लगता है और क्या नहीं अच्छा लगता है। तो अगर आपके साथ भी ऐसा हो कि कुछ चीजें हैं जो आपको लगता है कि आप बहुत ग्रेट हो, ये नहीं दर्शाता, नहीं दिखाता, लोग आपके बारे में जजमेंट कर सकते हैं, और दूसरे के बारे में सोचना क्या, उनको उतना टाइम है भी नहीं। आपको क्या वो कंफर्टेबल लगता है करते हुए। तो वापस आ गए मेरे वो सारे जो सामान थे, वापस आ गए, क्योंकि वही काम मैं करते रहती हूँ। थोड़ा सा ही टाइम, बट फ्री टाइम में मेरी कुछ चीजें हैं वहाँ पे। और ये जो एक और टिप ये है कि जो कि पूरा सारा दिन हम ऑफिस के सेटअप में ये सारे सामान लेके नहीं जा सकते हैं, तो यूट्यूब जो कि मेरा बहुत ही ब्लैंड होता है, इसमें कोई मसाला नहीं होता है, सो देन एटलीस्ट मैं तो खुद प्रेजेंटेबल लगूँ ना, इसीलिए भी वो है। तो ये वैल्यूज है। तीसरा ये है कि आपका एनर्जी बहुत स्कैटर्ड है। अगर आपके वैल्यूज 3 से ज्यादा हैं तो आपके एनर्जी स्कैटर होते हैं डिफरेंट डिफरेंट चीजों में, ये भी है। देन अगर आपको एनर्जी सेव करना है तो आपको ये सारे जो आपकी आदतें हैं उसका कुछ अल्टरनेटिव निकाल के इस एनर्जी को सेव करना है, राइट? लेकिन ये आप पे डिपेंड करता है कि आप उसको कैसे करोगे। अगर आपको लगता है कि इससे आपका एनर्जी खर्च नहीं होता, बल्कि दिस इज a process to make yourself better, then आपको कोई नहीं बोल रहा है कि आपका एनर्जी खर्च हो रहा है। भाई आप खुद को अच्छा करने के लिए तो चले हो ना। स्कूल ऑफ ग्रेटनेस मतलब क्या है? आप खुद को ग्रेट बनाने चले हो। ग्रेट कौन बोलेगा आपको? दूसरे बंदे बोले या नहीं बोले, आप अपने खुद से तो बोल पाओगे ना कि आप ग्रेट हो खुद अपने लिए, राइट? तो सबसे पहले ग्रेट आपको खुद, आप खुद बोलोगे खुद को, क्योंकि आपको वो करते हुए खुशी महसूस हुई। खुशी से बड़ी कोई चीज होती नहीं है। आपकी खुशी कोई और दे नहीं सकता, कोई क्रिएट भी नहीं कर सकता। सो इट इज यू हु इज क्रिएटिंग और योर ओन हैप्पीनेस। ठीक है, तो फिर आप ये वैल्यूज में इधर उधर मत हुई। वैल्यू डिटर्मिनेशन में भले ही वो 3 चीजों के बारे में बताते हैं और वो करते हुए बहुत मजा आता है, और आप देखेंगे कि हर 15 दिन में अगर उस टेस्ट को आप लो, इट इज फ्री। फ्री अगर आप ये लो उस टेस्ट को, आप देखोगे कि थोड़ा थोड़ा चेंज आपके प्रायोरिटीज में हो गई, होती रहती है। इसीलिए तो आपकी आज जो पसंद है वो कल वो पसंद नहीं रहती। क्यों ऐसे होता है? क्योंकि आपके लाइफ एक्सपीरियंसेस बदले हैं। अभी तक जो आपको अच्छा लगता रहा है, आपके लाइफ एक्सपीरियंसेस उसी तरह से थे, इसीलिए आपको आज वो अच्छे लग रहे हैं। आगे चल के आज कल सुबह आपको कुछ एक्सपीरियंस और हो जाएगा, जिससे आपको पता चलेगा कि समथिंग एल्स यू लाइक। तो ये होते रहेगा। तो आपको किसी को जवाब देने की जरूरत नहीं है, अगर आप खुद को एक्सप्लेन कर पा रहे हो तो, राइट? इसमें बहुत सारे क्वेश्चंस है जो मैं पढ़ती हूँ। कंपेयर कीजिए अपने लिस्ट को। व्हाट कॉमन थिंग्स डू यू सी इन योर आंसर्स? जो आपको अच्छे लगते हैं और जो होना चाहिए, ऐसा भी कुछ होता होगा। वैल्यू डिटर्मिनेशन प्रोसेस आप जरूर देख लें। फिर आप अगर इसको इस प्रोसेस को लेंगे तो आपको पता चलेगा कि व्हाट इज द डिफरेंस, व्हाट वर्ड्स गेट रिपीटेड। जो रिपीट होता है आपके बात में, वही आपकी एनर्जी फोकस है वहाँ पे। What threads are woven consistently throughout your story? आपकी पसंद नापसंद क्या चीज है जो बारी बारी वो स्टोरी बन के आ रही है? तो ये पैटर्न फोकसिंग एंड बिकम ए हीरो। फाइंड योर पावर एंड बिकम ए हीरो। किसी दूसरे को आपको हीरो बनाने की जरूरत नहीं है। यू बिकम योर ओन हीरो एंड perhaps an easier way to look at this is philosophical। मैंने जो बताया बहुत ही प्रैक्टिकल बताया, जो मैंने खुद से किया अपने आप के साथ। तो आप भी ऐसा कर सकते हो। एंड व्हाट इज जस्ट रॉन्ग इन योर वर्ल्ड, कम्युनिटी और सर्कल ऑफ इन्फ्लुएंस? आई एम विलिंग टू बेट that your passions, strengths, learned skills, and mission intersect at many points or one central point. Can you find the overlap? Take a moment to write down some declarative sentence about your problem solving vision. Utilize some of the eulogy writing skills we learned in earlier exercise. Here is what it might look like. I am passionate about cooking and gardening. For some reason, I have always known how to create delicious concoctions in the kitchen, with or without a recipe. In the last several years, I have taught myself how to get better at cooking through YouTube videos, cooking classes, and 2 cooking vacations to Toscana. Now I want to take these skills and teach them to single moms, college kids, and low income families. I believe everyone deserves delicious food and the know how to create it from affordable ingredients and their own gardens. ये हो सकता है। आपने क्या सोचा था कि आपके खाना बनाने से किसी और का फायदा हो जाएगा? तो आप इसी तरह से लिख सकते हो। So something as छोटा as cooking can be a meaningful mission। ये आप जानते हो। तो आपके मिशन में क्या है जो आपको बहुत अच्छा लगता है और मिशन बन सकता है? शायद अभी सारे कड़ी जुड़े नहीं होंगे, बस ये अगर आप कर ले तो आपका वर्ल्ड रीडिफाइन हो जाएगा। आप खुद को, आपका मिशन बन गया ना, अभी आप मिशन पे हो, तो ए पर्सन विदाउट अ मिशन एंड ए पर्सन विद ए मिशन दोनों बहुत ही अलग हैं एक दूसरे से। सो वंस इट इज डन, योर लाइफ विल बी वेरी हैप्पी, वेरी हेल्पफुल एंड एक्साइटेड। तो आपने अगर ये एक्सरसाइज किया हो और आपको बहुत अच्छा लगा हो तो इस यूट्यूब में ही, वीडियो में ही नीचे आपको मिल जाएगा ट्रस्ट पायलट पे जाके बताने की या फिर कमेंट करने की। सिंपल कमेंट भी कर सकते हैं और आप सब्सक्राइब भी कर सकते हैं इसको। क्वेश्चन अगर पूछेंगे तो और भी मैं कुछ कुछ बताऊंगी। आई एम ए रिबेल, कोई भी प्रोसेस जो किसी और ने बोला है उसको मैं फॉलो नहीं करती। खुद ही जो प्रोसेस मैंने अपने लिए बनाया है वो भी बहुत दिनों तक फॉलो नहीं करती क्योंकि मैं बदलते रहती। सो दैट्स इट, आई थिंक दिस हेल्प्ड यू। थैंक यू फॉर वॉचिंग।